Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. In this lecture, we are going to discuss current affairs of 14th April 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 9 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says Sky Met forecast a healthy normal monsoon. So this article mainly talking about prediction of monsoon this year. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 1 under geography. So if you want to understand this article, you need to know some background about this monsoon. Okay, so now let us try to explain about this monsoon. Okay, just it is a brief idea. So if you draw this equator, so as we know this is 0 degrees, right? So we have India here, right? So India is mainly present in northern hemisphere. So it is present towards north of this equator. So if you are talking about which important latitude which is passing here, so we have this 23.5 degrees north that is passing towards India. So what happened here in summer season? So we have ITCZ. So it is moving or shifting of this ITCZ from here equator toward the northern side. Okay, so if you see here ITCZ which is moving here. So in this ITCZ we have high temperature. So we see low pressure that is seen in this area. Okay, so what happened if you are talking about this monsoon winds? So here it will be moving in this direction, right? Okay, so after crossing equator, so here in northern hemisphere, so these winds they will move towards right side. Okay, so because of this, these winds they are called as southwest monsoon winds. So they will move from sea to land. So whenever winds are moving from sea to land, they will carry some moisture that is present in sea and that will lead to rainfall across land. So in this way we will get this monsoons. Okay, so monsoons are seen for 3 months in India. And these monsoons are important source of rainfall. As you know, Indian agriculture, which is mainly it is one of primary activity in our India. So Indian economy is called as majorly agricultural economy. So if you are talking about this agriculture in India, it is mainly dependent on rainfall. Okay, we do not have proper irrigation facilities, so most of Indian agriculture is dependent on rainfall. Okay, so because of this, monsoon will be very important for India, mainly to sustain its agriculture economy. Okay, mainly to ensure food security. So regarding this monsoons, you need to know other 2 important concepts, that is El Nino and La Nina. Okay, we are also going to discuss that. So this is some brief background regarding this Indian monsoon. So this Indian monsoon mainly comes under this climate chapter under our Indian geography. So now let us try to discuss about this article in a great detail. So this article mainly talking about weather forecast. So here recently SkyMet. So this SkyMet, it is a private weather forecast company. It came up with prediction of this year monsoon, that is monsoon 2021. And it said that monsoon was likely to be 103% of LPA, that is long period average this year. So what is this LPA here? So if you are talking about this LPA, it mainly refers to average. Okay, it is refers to average all India monsoon rainfall of 88 centimeters in a 50-year mean. So if you see 50 years mean here, so we get average of about 88 centimeters. Okay, so this is LPA. So this LPA is very important. You can expect direct question in your prelims regarding this LPA also. So if you are talking about monsoon 2019 and 2020, so in monsoon 2019 and 2020, it was the 3rd time in a century to get good rainfall, that is above normal rainfall during this monsoon season. Okay, and this agency classified forecast as a healthy normal, that is 103% of LPA. And this forecast also adds about El Nino. Okay, so El Nino, which is mainly characterized by heating of equatorial central Pacific region. Normally in real Australia we can see that is low pressure area is formed, right? So, but if you're talking about El Nino this year, some characteristics are very, very low. That means we can see some good monsoon this year. And next one is, if you're talking about what is La Nina and what is El Nino. So, if you see India, which is present here, right? So, above this India also we can see low pressure area which is created because of shifting of IT season towards northward. So, in normal year, in normal monsoons, what happened? Near this South America, we can see high pressure area, and near Australia and India, we see low pressure area is formed. So, as we know regarding this pressure gradient, so wind always move from high pressure area to low pressure area. Okay, so how much difference that is present between this low pressure and high pressure? So based on that, winds will move fastly. Okay, so what happened from this high pressure area here? The winds, they will move towards Australia and India here. That will leads to cause of monsoons here. So whenever there is no proper low pressure area which is created, so instead of low pressure area which is created here, it is creating here, then what happened? Winds will move in this direction. So because of this, it will affect monsoon. Okay, so whenever high pressure area which is formed here in this area near South American region, so this condition is called as El Nino. Okay, so this is the thing that you should remember. And now let us see next article. Title says Center fast tracks approval for more vaccine candidates. So if you are talking about vaccine candidates in India, we have only two as of now. They got emergency use authorization. They are Covaxin and next one is Covishield. So recently in yesterday's lecture, we studied that even Sputnik will also get a nod from DCGI. So this article mainly talking about further there are many vaccine candidates, they are coming to approval in India. So why this decision taken by government? So if you're talking about daily new fresh cases, and today's newspaper mainly says that more than 1.86 lakh new cases, they are identified in last 24 hours. So because of this, we need to go for increase in our vaccination. Okay, so we need to increase our vaccination capability. As of now, we are going for vaccination to 30 to 40 lakh people every day. So whenever we want to achieve target or whenever we need to contain the spread of COVID-19, we need to increase our vaccine distribution or vaccine inoculation, right? So because of this, we need to also talk about, or we need to also think about manufacturing units. Okay, so as of now, Serum Institute of India and as well as Bharat Biotech, they are going for manufacturing of this Covishield and also Covaxin. So whenever we want to increase our vaccination drive, then what happened? We need to also look after this manufacturing, right? So whenever we are giving approval for other vaccine candidates which are present across world, then those vaccines can also be used here such that we can increase our vaccination and we can prevent our people from this transmission of this coronavirus. Okay, so this article will be important regarding GS paper 2 under health. Now let us try to talk about this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that a major shift in vaccine approval policy that is seen in center. So in this shift, it mainly says that government decided to fast track approvals for COVID-19 vaccines which are developed even outside India also. So these vaccines which are developed outside India, which granted emergency use authorization by other drug regulatory agencies, they are also taken into consideration in India. So if you see some details regarding this article, it mainly says that, so this decision mainly based on recommendations which is made by National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19. Okay, so this will helpful for expansion of basket of COVID-19 for domestic use, and as well as it will hasten the pace and as well as coverage of vaccines also. So if you're talking about especially vaccines, these vaccines are eligible for fast track approval. They mainly include vaccines which granted emergency use authorization by US FDA, Food and Drug Authority. And next one is European medical agencies and as well as UK's Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, and even Agency of Japan, that is Pharmaceutics and Medical Devices Agency. For example, we can talk about Pfizer, Moderna and as well as Johnson & Johnson vaccines. And now let us see next article. Title says last two rhinos translocated under IRV 2020. So what is this IRV? IRV mainly stands for Indian Rhino Vision 2020. So this topic will be very important regarding environment and ecology. So you can expect some prelims based questions regarding this IRV 2020. Okay, so now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that what is this IRV? IRV is Indian Rhino Vision 2020. So this IRV came into mainly close now. Okay, so why we are going to close now? Because under this IRV, they are mainly want to attain about 3,000 rhinos in Assam. So now recently 2 rhinos, mainly strands located to Assam's Manas National Park from Pobitiora Wildlife Sanctuary. So because of this, they attain number of this 3,000. So they are going to close this Indian Rhino Vision 2020. Okay. So now let us try to talk about some facts regarding this article. So this IRV designed in 2005, and this IRV mainly believed to have achieved its target of attaining population of 3,000 rhinos in Assam. So they are going to close this vision. Okay. So if you're talking about important plan under this IRV is to spread rhinoceros, okay, unicorns across 4 protected areas. Okay. So first important thing here, it is to attain 3,000 rhinos in Assam, and second important one is even rhinoceros unicorns across 4 protected areas beyond this Kaziranga National Park, Orang National Park and Pobitara National Park. They could not achieve this. So first thing which is achieved and second thing is not achieved, but they are going for closing of this Indian Rhino Vision 2020. So now let us talk about some facts regarding Assam. So if you're talking about Assam, which has at least 5 rhino bearing areas till 1980s, and they took number of conservation efforts. So because of these conservation efforts, that mainly helped to maintain population of one horned rhinoceros in Assam. Okay, so mainly they include 3 important national parks. First one is Kaziranga, second one is Orang, and third one is Pobitra. Okay, but these rhinos are facing some threats from poaching, encroachment, etc. So because of this poaching and encroachment, that led to wiping off most of animals mainly from 2 important areas, that is Manas and as well as Lokhawa Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, so because of this wiping out of animal population in this Manas Wildlife Sanctuary or Manas National Park, which lost its World Heritage tag in year 2011. So because of this, mainly to bring back that tag, now we are going for translocation of rhinos, and we came up with this Indian Rhino Vision. Okay, so because of this, what happened, it bring back its World Heritage tag to this Manas National Park. So this is in news. Okay, so this is some important thing that you should remember. And now let us see next article. Title says US to withdraw troops from Afghanistan. So if you want to see about some background regarding this article, we need to go back about this Afghan peace process or peace deal. So what happened in February 2020, America and Taliban, they came up with peace deal, that is Afghan peace deal. So in that peace deal, they mainly talked to withdraw these USA troops from Afghanistan. So in return, Taliban asked to release prisoners, okay, regarding this Taliban. So because of this, after this deal, US mainly started pressuring up Afghanistan government to release prisoners. Okay, so Afghanistan government released that prisoners here, and now May 1st, it is the last ending date or last date to withdrawal of this US troop from Afghanistan. So because of this article is in news. And now let us try to talk about this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that US will begin to draw down of its troop in Afghanistan before 1st May, and it will complete process before September 11. So why September 11? So this September 11 mainly this year, that will mark 20th anniversary of attack here. Okay, so because of this, by this September 11, here US want to complete withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. So this is statement which is given by senior US administration official. So if you're talking about some more details here, it mainly says that there are about 2,500 and 3,500 troops, that is 2,500 to 3,500 US troops in Afghanistan at present. And US, it is planning to have its all troops, okay, out of this country before anniversary, that is before 20th anniversary of 9/11 attacks. And now let us see next article. Title says WHO urges halt on sale of live wild mammals in market. So this article mainly talking about sale of this wild mammals, that too live. Okay, so as we know, whenever we are talking about wild animals or wild mammals, they are important host of number of microbials, whether it may be bacteria or whether it may be, we can say, virus, or whether it may be parasites, protozoa, etc. here. So I want to give you a best example. Even HIV virus mainly transmitted from this monkeys to humans here, and that led to havoc, right? So because of this, even now we are fighting against this HIV AIDS now also. So because of this, we can say these wild animals, they are important source, or they are host of number of disease causing organisms like bacteria, virus, protozoa, amoeba, parasites, etc. here. So because of this, now WHO called for halt, that is to ban the sale of live wild and wild mammals in food markets. So why? Because now recently this coronavirus also transmitted from bats to humans, right? So because of this, these wild animals, they are very much host. So whenever humans, they are coming in contact with wild animals, then there will be increased risk of transmission of this disease causing organisms from these animals to humans, and that will leads to cause of epidemics or pandemics, right? So because of this, now WHO came up with halt on sale of these live wild animals in food markets. Okay, so this decision mainly taken by WHO to prevent emergence of new disease such as COVID-19. Okay, so why? Because wild animals, they are particularly this wild mammals, they are source of more than 70% of emerging infectious diseases in humans. So because of this, we need to decrease contact with these wild animals as much as possible. So in this context, I want to give you a small homework. So please refer some facts regarding WHO. Okay, and don't forget about this homework. So whatever I am giving you regarding homework, that will benefit you finally, not me. Okay, and now let us see next article. Title says customs, excise, fuel, indirect tax surge in COVID-19 hit year. So this article mainly talking that there is increase in indirect taxes. Okay, so now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. This article will be important regarding GS paper 3 under economy. Okay, so if you see context, it mainly says that a jump in excise revenue helps to lift net indirect tax collection. It is 12.3% in financial year 2021. Okay, so what happened here? Recent estimate says that there is increase in net indirect tax collections by center. So if you're talking about details, here GST collections for full year, that fell 8%, that is from 5.99 lakh crore rupees in financial year 2020 to 5.48 crore rupees. So there is fell of 8%. And next one is net tax collections on account to central excise and service tax of financial year 2020 to 2021. It is 3.91 lakh crore, and if you are comparing with last year, it is 2.45 lakh crore. Okay, so here 3.91 lakh crore which is collected. So because of this, we can say there is increase in collection of central taxes and as well as service tax. And this article also says that 59% growth that is seen in net central excise and as well as service tax collection. So it is mainly due to government recently implemented one important scheme, that is Sabka Vikas scheme, Sabka Vishwas scheme, that will help to resolve some legal disputes, okay, regarding tax collections. Okay, and even GST collections, they are also increased. But if you're talking about some details regarding these GST collections, so these GST collections, they are severely affected in first half of financial year because of COVID-19. But now they are registering good growth and also collections which exceeded rupees 1 lakh crore in each of last months. Okay, so this is about gist of this article again. And now let us see next article. So before seeing this article, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. So if you want to clear UPSC 2022, so we came up with good and excellent course, that is current affairs package along with mains answer writing practice. So if you're talking how this course is useful to clear UPSC 2022. So before entering into exam, you need to at least know 1.5 years current affairs for sure. So if you join this course now, and this is the right time to join this course to cover this 1.5 years current affairs in a comprehensive manner. Okay. And next important thing is current affairs will be very important to clear UPSC, because 50 to 60% of questions, either it may be prelims or mains or even interview, you can expect questions from this current affairs. So mastering of current affairs, it is very important regarding UPSC. And if you are talking about this mains answer writing practice, many students who are especially freshers or beginners, they ignore this mains answer writing practice. Even if they have cleared prelims, they cannot clear mains without proper answer writing skills. And if you join this course, we are focusing on how to improve answer writing skills and how to throw away your fear regarding mains answer writing also. And next important thing is, if you join this course, we also conduct prelims test on every Sunday, and we also provide you video solutions. So in this way, this course is very useful to clear UPSC, and this course, it is mainly addressing exactly demand of UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing: please don't take this course as a choice. Please try to join this course as soon as possible, and details of this course are given in description box below. So please visit that once. And if you want to talk to me directly regarding this course, you can talk to me on this number. So you can note this number 8074765513. Okay. And now let's come back and let us see next article. Title says, in climate change noise, India's role as conductor. So this article mainly talking about climate change. So this is one of important topic under environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3. So now let us try to talk about this article, and this topic will be exclusively important regarding mains. Okay. And now let us see this article in a great detail. So this article mainly talking about climate change. So why this climate change is in news? So recently, visit of US Special Presidential Envoy for Climate to India, and this meet which mainly provided an opportunity for India to discuss cooperation on climate change, and as well as to balance between near-term priorities and as well as what are these long-term targets. And if you're talking about this date, that is April 22 and upcoming April 23, so Biden lead and summit on climate that is going to be held. And in this summit, there are many major countries, mainly they are coming with their outlining plans. Okay. So why, if you see in news recently, climate action as well as climate leadership, which is highly in news, because it is increasingly measured against a planetary imperative of emissions, and we all want to reduce our emissions, that is net zero target by 2050. So what is this net zero? Net zero means how much amount of carbon it is released into atmosphere and how much amount of carbon dioxide which is absorbed. Then it will be equal, that is called as net zero or net neutrality. Okay. So if you're talking about this net zero, one important question that comes into picture here is, so target, it is very much good for developed countries to come up with net neutrality by 2050. But if you're talking about least developed countries or developing countries, it will be very, very important, and it is also one of important hurdle to tackle with. And if you're talking about net zero, it is also called as carbon neutrality. How we can achieve this carbon neutrality? So we can achieve this carbon neutrality by using renewable energy, and we can also go for improvements in energy efficiency, and as well as we can go for fast penetration of electric vehicles here. So because of this, we can achieve our low carbon objectives nearby whenever we are following these steps. So in this context, article mainly says that we need to replan here, and we need to reframe our net zero debate from perspective of planet and also from perspective of its people. Okay. So if you're talking about why India needs to replan, even WHO came with a report. It mainly classified high income economies should not get more than 15 to 20 years to achieve net zero emissions from 2020 onwards. For example, it can be applicable for European Union, it can be applicable for USA. But if you want to talk about China, China will enter into high income economies by 2025. So from 2025, it need to take at just 15 to 20 years. That is by 2045, it need to achieve this carbon neutrality, but not by 2060. And if you're talking about India, India is expected to become high income economy around 2050. That means by 2070 we need to achieve this carbon neutrality target. So finally this article mainly says that this per capita income, they cannot be excused for inaction and as well as in correcting emissions here. Okay, but even we need to take into account that is aggregate emissions. Okay, aggregate emissions should also take into matter. So in this context, what is need? What can be the steps which are taken by India? So first one is we need to think about each country's sustainable development priorities, and as well as we can go for some sectoral pathways. And next one is we need to create the conditions for further innovation and as well as investment, and as well as we need to go for development of infrastructure, technology, business models, lifestyle, and also behavioral changes. So it will helpful mainly to India to achieve its carbon neutrality. Okay, so this is just. And now let us see next article. Title says a small step. So this article mainly talking about MTP Act, that is Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. So we already discussed about this topic in a great detail, and let us see what extra point is written in this article. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 3, paper 2 under polity. So you can expect mains based question from this Maternal Termination of Pregnancy Act for sure in this year mains. So if you are talking about this, why it is in news? So if there is a woman, so whenever they are conceiving, so they have right to go for abortion or termination of their pregnancy. So regarding these abortions in India, we have an important act, that is Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act of 1971. It mainly says that within 20 weeks of pregnancy we can go for abortion. Okay, so if we want to go for abortion beyond 20 weeks, we need to show that there is fetal abnormality. Okay, so based on opinion of 2 qualified doctors, they can go for abortion for 20 weeks. Okay, so recently we came up with amendment to this bill. Okay, so this bill mainly takes that it exceeded time limit from 20 weeks to 24 weeks, and one opinion or 2 opinion of this qualified doctor, that is changed to 1 qualified doctor. And if you want to terminate pregnancy, even unmarried women, they can also go for termination of pregnancy, and they can go for replacing the word husband with the word that is called as partner. So it is one of important progressive step that we are seeing in this women related issues. And if you see why girls need to go for this, okay, because if you're talking about why there is a need of this act or this bill here, because if you're talking about in India, we having unsafe and illegal abortions which are done every year, and they mainly contribute about 8 lakhs of unsafe and illegal abortions that can be done. So because of this, it will also leads to increased rate of maternal mortality also. So because of this, whenever we are going for legal and as well as safe provisions of termination of pregnancy act, so it is one of clearly a welcome step. And if you see concern regarding this, first one is whenever we are allowing this abortions here, so we can also see some sex selective abortions that may be go. So because of this, we need to have a full watchful eye on these issues, and we need to that will allow or that will decrease mainly sex ratio in country. And next one is women have the fundamental rights on their own body, so they have right to freedom, and they have mainly right to privacy also. Right to privacy, it is one of fundamental rights which is given in our KS Puttaswamy versus Union of India case. And even if you are talking about this women's right, it is a fundamental right. It is also right which mainly includes right of women, and also women will decide whether she want to go for pregnancy or not, because final who will go up growing up of that child, that is mother, right? So your mother need to be give full access to take decision whether they need to continue or discontinue this pregnancy. Okay, so this is just. And now let us see next article. Title says BIMSTEC needs to reinvent itself. So this article mainly talking about one regional corporation, regional organization. Then this will be very important regarding GS paper 2 under international relations. Okay, so now let us try to talk about this article in a great detail. So this topic will be important regarding prelims and also mains. So if you are talking about prelims, you need to know some facts regarding this BIMSTEC, and regarding mains, you need to know about analysis of this topic. And if you see here BIMSTEC, so why it is in news, because recently Foreign Minister of BIMSTEC, So BIMSTEC mainly stands for Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. So recently they met virtually on April 1st. So because of this, now this is the news. And if you see some facts regarding formation of this BIMSTEC, on 6th June 1997, they formed in Bangkok. Name here is BIST-EC, okay, BISTEC. So this BISTEC mainly includes countries like Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka and Thailand. So this BISTEC is Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand Economic Cooperation. And if you are talking about this, how this organization formed, in 1997 here, what happened on 22nd December here, Myanmar joined this group. And later on in 1998, Nepal became as an observer country in this group. And in 2004, Nepal and Bhutan, they became full-time members of this BIMSTEC. So this is about evolution of this BIMSTEC. And if you are talking about important objectives, so important objective here, it is to look after 14 major sectors, like we can say technology cooperation etc. among South Asian and as well as Southeast Asian countries along this Bay of Bengal. So mainly those 14 sectors includes energy, environment and disaster management, transport and communication, trade and investments, technology, tourism, fisheries and as well as agriculture, counter-terrorism and transnational crime, public health, people-to-people contact, cultural ties, climate change, poverty alleviation as well as public health. So these are important areas which we have cooperation and coordination. So this article mainly talking about we need to reinvent this BIMSTEC. So what is reason for reinventing this BIMSTEC? So first one is there is lack of progress on trade and as well as economy, and there is mainly some flirtation chambers that are seen. Okay, so recently the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, they mainly suggest that there is urgent need of reforms in this BIMSTEC. So members, they could go for this comprehensive free trade agreement between all these countries. And second one is there is lack of effort to enthusiast and to engage in vibrant business regarding this BIMSTEC. And if you're talking about positives, even though we have negatives, we have some positives. So first one here is mainly we achieved good thing regarding humanitarian assistance and as well as disaster relief security in regarding counter-terrorism and as well as coastal scrutiny. And now let us talk about what are hurdles. So we need to talk about three important hurdles. So first one is mainly we have some tension-free bilateral relations. So whenever we want to make this organization which is very much functional, so we need to resolve bilateral issues. So if you're talking about members, we have India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, etc. right? So between India and Sri Lanka, we have some relations, okay, which are very bad now. And next one is regarding India and Nepal, relations are not good because of some boundary dispute of Kalapani and Susta region. And next one is regarding Myanmar, now military coup is happening and it is against democracy, right? So there are some important problems which are present between members of this group. And next one is there is also uncertainties over SAARC, okay, that are mainly leading to some complications. So if you're talking about some other countries like Kathmandu and Colombo, they have diluted zeal mainly to work towards this BIMSTEC and they want to revival SAARC. And next one is Chinese intrusion. Chinese intrusion in South and Southeast Asian space, that is one of major disadvantage or one of major dark shadows that we can see. So in this way, what is way forward, what can be done? Here we need to have some paradigm shift in raising the level of our cooperation as well as regional implementation or regional integration. So this is gist of this topic. I hope it is clear. And now let us see today's mains question. So BIMSTEC grouping work in progress has several obstacles to overcome, critically analyze. So in critically analyze, you need to write both positives and also negatives, and in way forward you need to write in a positive way. Okay, so this is a structure of answer and try to write answer within word limit. So many students who are exceeding this word limit, so you need to write within this word limit. Okay, so this is important thing. These are some important articles that happened today's today's Hindu. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll this current affairs package. Thank you so much.